Mike Moore Media.
I'm talking to Rodney Cates, Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services. This is a busy week, and we have a lot to talk about. Rodney, hey, welcome back. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, I know, first off, we should mention a drill coming up at 9:30 this morning. So tell us about that.
That's right. Mike, this week is Severe Weather Preparedness Week. March 3rd through the 9th marks this event. So this morning at 9:30, there's a statewide tornado drill that will be going off. The schools will take part in it. A lot of businesses, counties, and governments should do it, statewide. And what it does is just a preparedness for what does the activation sound like? What do we do when we hear that activation? The tornado season for North Carolina and really for everywhere, but North Carolina tornadoes, the message from NC Ready, and we've talked about that many times, their wording says in North Carolina, tornadoes can occur with little or no warning at any time during the year, but the peak season is March through May. So that's why we're kicking this Preparedness Week off with that tornado drill. And again, it's all about being prepared and planning ahead for these type of events.
Being prepared, so very, very important. And, of course, if we've been in Rockingham County any length of time, 26 years ago this month, March 20th, 1998, we had the tornado that spun its way through Stoneville and Madison and Mayodan that the people that were here at the time will never forget.
That's true, Mike, and we actually still have pictures of that in our emergency services office. We have some large pictures of that certainly marks the devastation that occurred that day. And again, those that were here that remember it know how quickly that occurred, how quickly those storms came upon us, and then how quickly the destruction occurred. So certainly very, very powerful events that can come upon us without warning. And again, preparedness is our key word. That's what this week is about, is learning how to be prepared for these types of events.
Sure. I'm on your Facebook page, and that is Rockingham County Emergency Services, and I see something here called MCI training that you've just recently had. Tell us about that.
MCI training, Mike, that's for mass casualty incidents, and a mass casualty incident is defined by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, as any event that exceeds the limitation of the healthcare system. Now, the healthcare system, that's another term that you have to define. So it's not just exceeds the number of ambulances we have available or the number of paramedics or EMTs we have available, but the healthcare system, what can the hospitals handle? What can the air medical support handle? What is the healthcare system would be all inclusive of people who would have patient care in these type incidents. And typically, we think of mass shootings, but it does not have to be mass shootings. Back in 2018, we had a school bus wreck on NC 68 where we had 18 students in a school bus that turned completely upside down. So certainly that's a mass casualty incident. We were very fortunate that day that there were no serious injuries. But how do we manage those events? Specifically on scene, how do we establish command? Do we establish a unified command? How do we triage those patients and tag those patients? And how do we account for where those patients are going? And that's what mass casualty training does. It teaches us how to set up command. It teaches us the importance of command, because if we get so involved in it, somebody's got to stand back and look at the entire incident from 40,000 feet, and that's the incident commander. That's the person that calls the shots and is in charge of that incident. And to know where these patients are going. And as we talked about in the class that we actually had two of these classes for all of our EMS personnel and the two different shift rotations that we have. But reunification in a mass casualty incident, specifically a school bus wreck with many children involved, reunification is a key component of that, because parents are going to know how to get to their children, where are they, what is their condition, and how do they get connected to their children again. So reunification is huge. And looking at these incidents from 40,000 feet as an incident command role is huge in the successful mitigation of these situations.
Well, we have learned from other incidents around the nation that being prepared for things like this, so very, very important. And I know Eden Police Department, other law enforcement agencies, Eden PD was involved in a mass shooting training, I think weekly during the month of February, and it's just critical that that all of these agencies stay right on top of things, isn't it?
It is, and if you look at the world events that are going on, and perhaps not even world events, look at events that are going on in the United States. These events will impact us, and as we told our people in the training, we certainly hope it's not in Rockingham County, but if it is, we want to be prepared. But it could be a neighboring county. We could be sent to a neighboring county to assist with a mass casualty incident. So we need to know and be prepared what to do in those situations. Triage, patient triage, is huge because red tag patients are the most critical. They need the initial treatment. Certainly somebody with a broken arm or a broken leg is important, but that person who has an arterial bleed, that's a red tag patient that you have to stop that bleed or you're going to lose that life. So knowing how to triage, and when you come across that patient in a mass casualty incident with a broken arm and they're screaming for you to help them because they're in pain, it's very hard to walk past that person. But when the person laying past them has an arterial bleed, you have to triage, and in your mind, you have to treat the most serious events that could be life-threatening to sustain that life. So learning how to triage and knowing who to triage to get these patients to care. Casualty collection points are a big thing in mass casualty incidents. Once you triage these patients and you designate them as red tag, which are most serious, yellow tag, which are not quite as serious, but they have serious injuries, green tag are typically you're walking wounded. You pull these people out into triage areas, and then you know how to get units in from your staging areas to then transport your red tag patients first. So that's a key component of knowing everybody. It's a team effort by everybody that responds. And a mass casualty incident for us would be EMS, rescue, all of the first responders in that area, probably mutual aid that comes from other counties. So everybody working together as a team and in concert with each other is paramount for the successful mitigation of these incidents.
I don't think the general public perhaps realizes the training that goes into things like this on so many different levels right here locally.
Perhaps they don't, and perhaps that's a good thing. That they don't have that concept of how involved and how in depth these things can get. But yes, it is a lot of training. We're actually just this week we have contracted with a group called Apex Defense Group, and they teach a class. They have multiple classes, but they teach a class on tactical medicine. They're actually coming here. We're hosting a class actually in the month of April, and we'll host another one probably in July, where we're going to certify all of our people in tactical medicine. And I've attended this class. This class is very specific on triage and the proper care and what tools are needed when you go into a hot zone, which is the immediate response. What do you need when you go in there to triage your red tag patients and get them to a collection casualty point so that you can get them evacuated to a higher level of care?
Wow, being prepared, so critical. Let's talk about this week, Severe Weather Preparedness Week. What do we need to know about this?
Well, again, our key term, I think, today is preparedness.
Yeah.
Again, information from readync.org, and I accessed it and pulled it up this morning. It talks about key things, and it says tornadoes coming to you. You only have a short time to make life or death choices. And that is true. Knowing where these safety rooms are, the interior rooms of your house, we've heard it so many times. The news, if a tornado warning occurs, the meteorologists, when they interrupt the regular programming and they go straight to the live feeds off of the news and show what the radars are showing, and they're telling people move to the interior room of your house. We need to know, as citizens and families, we would encourage people to know ahead of time, plan where that interior room is so that all of your family members who are there know where that interior room is, and we're not scrambling throughout the house in this very short time period that we have before a tornado comes. Where do we need to go, and how do we get to that room as quickly and as efficiently as we can? Another key thing they talk about is knowing the turns and danger signs. A watch. We will hear several times that a tornado watch is in effect, and that'll usually be for a long period of time. A tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for the formation of a tornado. Nothing has been seen or spotted, but all the conditions are right for the formation of a tornado. When they upgrade that to a warning, that means that a tornado has actually been sighted. It can be radar indicated through the meteorological standpoint, or it can actually be observed and reported by someone out in the field. So the watch just means conditions are favorable. The warning means it has been seen or spotted, and that's when we need to put our plans in place of where our safety rooms are, our interior rooms to go to be safe in these situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm on the page now, readync.gov. Plan, prepare, stay informed. And this is, we've mentioned this site so many times, but as I'm just kind of scrolling down here's current weather conditions, evacuation information, road conditions, power outages, shelters, disaster assistance, emergencies. Here's a hurricane guide. This is a great tool, and that is readync.gov. So it'd be good to have that right there on your phone when you need it.
That's exactly right. And there, like you just mentioned, there are resources there for every type of emergency that we could encounter. And this page is updated very, very frequently, so that the information that we are seeing on this page is current and updated information that we can certainly abide by.
Yeah, okay. Well, we've covered a lot here. Anything else we need to mention? We have a little bit of time left, Rodney.
Well, Code Red, we always put a plug in for Code Red, but Code Red is a very, very effective way to know of these tornado warnings when they are in effect. Code Red will alert you. There are ways to sign up for Code Red. You can go to the Rockingham County webpage, access departments, go to emergency services to the 911 link, and then there's a link for Code Red sign up. Great tool to be notified of these weather situations or any other critical event. But as we're talking about being prepared for severe weather, Code Red is a very, very effective tool to be prepared for severe weather.
Sure. Okay. Rodney, always great to get an update from you and know about what's happening right here in Rockingham County. Thank you for your time and for your team being there for us when we need them. We appreciate that.
All right, Mike. Thank you.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yes, sir.
All right, Rodney Cates, who is Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services, our monthly podcast with him. Again, let me mention their Facebook page. Good information, current there. Rockingham County Emergency Services. And then you can find out more about Code Red, Rodney was just talking about, at rockinghamcountync.gov. And by all means, make sure that you are aware and can access this website, readync.gov.